can't swim in the same river twice. I don't know who originally said that, but the idea is that when you jump into a river, the water is flowing, and even if you went back to the same spot on land, jumped in again, it's a different river because the water has changed. And that's also going to be true of any project that you take that takes a long time to complete. If you took 5 years to write a book, you're going to be a different person 5 years from now. I actually was able to publish one of my long projects, Bitterwood. I wrote this novel originally. I wrote the first draft 10 years before I wrote the second draft and got it published. And I can look at this book, and it's very plain to me the stuff that I wrote 10 years ago versus the stuff that I wrote later. There's just two different voices in the book. And the book, is very successful, and it's worth printing, but still I can look and I can tell that the project suffered by me not writing the whole thing in one sitting. Whether readers pick up on that or not, I don't know, but it's a reason why a book you can produce in 6 months is going to be better than a book you can produce in 6 years. The fourth reason is mortality. What a bummer. But one reason that I write a lot more in my 40s than I did in my 20s is I've had people close to me pass away. I've had best friends, a year older than me, just die suddenly in their 40s. I dated a woman who passed away from breast cancer when she was 39. And you get to the point where you start thinking, gosh, I better write this book now because there's no guarantee if I sit on this book for 5 more years that I'm going to be able to write it. I hate to say that I go to some pretty dark places to make myself write, but there's some days where I don't feel like writing, and I have to get to a point where I'm like, okay, this could be the last day on earth you have to write. Get this out. And then the last thing is what a typewriter and a sewing machine have in common. I come from a family of textile workers and know people who used to sew pantyhose together. And when you set in a sewing machine and sew pantyhose, you are not paid by the hour. You are paid by the number of pantyhose that you produce. It's piecework, and the same is true of writing. It does not matter how many hours you put into a project. You are paid only for the projects that you complete and sell. And so if you can write 10 novels in a 10-year period, then you have a possibility of getting paid for 10. If you spend the same amount of time writing one book over 10 years, it's still only representing one paycheck.